So this is the view you'll see when you first log in. It shows the recordings and the people that are part of the team. So far I've added just yourself and Hugh. We can add more folks who need to access it. And then once you want to look at some footage, you just click on the video. It'll load here. Here on the side it marks like the beginning and the end of the half. I created an example highlight here. I can show you how to do that. If you click on it, it'll jump right to that point. So this one I just created a clip of someone making a run, and you can, if you want to, you could download those clips after you've created them. So as you're going, if you want to make notes about a part of the game, what you do when you see it, you create, you say new highlight. At that point, then you drag this marker to indicate what part of the game you want to capture, and then you can choose a tag. So you can pick from various tags that have already been created, or you can create a new tag of your liking. If you want to create, like, so if you wanted to create a tag that was specific to the tryout process or to a player or something, you could create it here, and then you would pick one, or you can pick multiple. And the players aren't set up in here. That's really more for like once you have your team, you can load up all your players. I mean, we could do it for this if you wanted. A lot of the players, you won't be part of the program after this, but typically this would be the list of the players in the team, so you could tag them, which would mean that when they logged in, they would see those specific things you tagged them. And then you could leave a comment, whatever you wanted to say in here, and then that would create it. So that's a one way if you want to be able to flag parts of the game that you want to be able to easily jump to. So for example, I can jump to the end of the half, start of the half, or if I wanted to jump to that point in the video, I could do that. You can download them, and then one of the other features is that other members of the team, like the other coaches, if they wanted to, they could come in and they could comment on, they could leave comments on your comments. So that's something. So some of this you probably wouldn't do necessarily in the situation where you're evaluating players, or you might, but it's also helpful like once you're into the season and you're recording training sessions or games and you want to leave feedback here. So this menu here lets you download the game, or if you want to delete the recording, you could. The edit mostly just lets you change the name of the session and the date. There is one other kind of highlight I wanted to show you. So if you click new highlight, you'll notice that there's what I showed you was the default view. If you click interactive, this is a feature that allows you to pan and zoom the camera. So in this case, you can kind of move the view. So what you can do is, let's say you get to this view, there's there's a few more steps, so you have to click add keyframe to start it. And then what you can do is, once you have done that marker, you can then drag and zoom, and then add another keyframe. And so as the play progresses, you can drag and zoom, and then you can continue to follow the play. And so then at that point, you would pick a tag. You don't have to pick a tag. Leave a comment if you wish, and then you create it. And then what that does is, and then actually I should let you know, so this is in the interactive mode, so there's two modes. There's This little icon here shows you're in interactive mode, which means it's not following the ball. Interactive mode allows you to drag and move around. So if you are, I'm in interactive mode. To get out of interactive mode, you click this little X button. And then it takes you back to the default mode where it's just following the ball. And so once you create what they call these are directed highlights, that's where you create a clip where you're panning and zooming. And then those do take usually a few seconds to actually render. And then once those are complete, you can also jump to those or, download those. So here's a view of the typical follow mode that you'll see, that the ball is being tracked. And this is what it looks like by default. And so this gives you one perspective. And now to show you the difference in this directed highlight, if you watch the same kind of play, you can see here we were zooming and painting. So it allows you to focus in on different parts of the field. And if you wanted to go look off the ball and see what the players are doing off the ball, you can use that feature as well. Another example of where you might want to use the interactive mode is if you were looking at the 1v1s and you wanted to get a little closer in. So by default, it's going to show this zoomed out view, but if you click the interactive icon, that will let you then get a little closer in on the action. So you can just watch it back in this mode where you can get closer view of the plays. And you could always zoom out a little bit more if you wanted to get them to see them receiving the ball before they attack. One other thing to mention, you might notice as you watch the 1v1s back, you see how the lighting changes there a little bit. That does happen sometimes as you watch, because there's a left and a right lens on the camera, and they have a light filter to adjust for the conditions. So you'll notice here that the shading became a little bit different on both sides. And then if you continue to watch a little bit later, you'll see it kind of go back to the same. So you may notice as you watch the footage, at times the shading is different from the left and the right. And that's because there's actually two cameras that are recording at the same time. And the software that processes it adjusts to changes in the light and the environment. And so that's kind of a consequence of that. Thanks for letting us come out and record the sessions yesterday. And if you have questions about the video or how to use it, just let me know.